Good morning, everyone. Pastor Chuck Blair of New Church Live. Great to have you here today. And just a little fun milestone we hit yesterday. Yesterday, we had the first one of our little 10 minutes of morning calm that went over 400 views in a day. So if you're one of those 400 rejoining us, great to have you here today. And sharing in our little communities. We go through and take a look every morning at just a little biblical passage, a little commentary, a little meditation, and a little prayer. 10 minutes to get our day off on the right foot. So today what we're looking at is this idea of a deep aliveness. And one of my favorite quotes that gets right to the heart of Christianity was from Irenaeus. It's, I believe, 2 something AD. And he said, "The glory of God is the person fully alive." And that quote is just like the better angels of our nature. I mean, there's just some quotes that are so true to what the real Christian message is that they just need repeated over and over again. And it's where, interestingly, the glory of God is the person fully alive. Interesting word that has definitely has the same kind of connotation is the word enthusiasm. Enthusiasm, theology, God. Enthusiasm was this word that was used to describe people within whom God abided, and it's interesting because today we don't necessarily, put those two together. We don't necessarily associate Christianity with aliveness, and we don't necessarily associate Christianity with enthusiasm or sort of this energy and zest around life. So it's interesting and sad, and maybe, today we can just look at maybe a little bit of God's intention around us reclaiming a little piece of that. So beautiful passage in here. So Noah, the ark has gone through the flood, come to rest, and now he starts to let the animals out. So here's that passage we're looking at. This is from Genesis chapter 8, verse 17. And what did he let out? Every wild animal that is with you, of all flesh, including the bird and the beast and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. Take them out with you and let them swarm throughout the earth and reproduce and multiply on the earth. Now, there's so many, we'll be looking at this a little bit over the next couple of days. And there's incredible beauty in that. First is like the idea of these animals being let out, and this idea of these animals being let out. The beauty of that, I think, is that, again, these animals represent aliveness. And it's this aliveness that we're to let go, that we're to unleash. And think about that. We're to allow out there into the world an aliveness. Really important. Notice that's not necessarily task-oriented. It's a vitality around life that we are to offer out there. It's an energy around life. And we all know people who have that, who have somehow that spiritual juju that just is effervescent. It's very attractive to people. You just know when you're around it. It just feels good. We give a sense of it, and it gets right back to Irenaeus's quote: "The glory of God is the person fully alive." And we probably all know a couple of people who fit that bill of just this deep aliveness. And this aliveness, folks, is not. It's so easy to get caught up on if I had their life circumstances, then I would feel alive. That's the comparison trap, and that's a bunch of junk. And I think we all know people who have this sense of aliveness regardless of their life circumstances. I certainly have seen it many times with people who have really hard life circumstances, but they still carry just an aliveness with them that is simply stunning most of the time. And this aliveness, I love the idea that it's about letting it go. It's again very much like the dove thing we've been talking about. It's a great letting go. It's unleashing these things out there into the world, and they're going to reproduce and multiply on their own. And we've let them go. We've let them go to do that. I love the idea, and this is from many of you have heard me quote the book because it's one of my favorite books. Actually, is this, which has an amazingly good title. The book is called "Orbiting the Giant Hairball," and it's a marketing book. The gist of it comes down to 2 things. And again, my apologies. Many of you, if you've been around New Church Live, you've probably heard me quote this several times, but it's worthwhile quoting it again, which is that, real leadership is not a pyramid, because a pyramid's a tomb. Real leadership is like the trunk of a tree. And I love that idea. And from a Christian New Church perspective, we believe the whole point of the tree is actually the seeds. You have the trunk, the branches, you have the leaves, you have the fruit, and you have the seed. And the whole point is all of that coming up, going out and spreading out and becoming seeds out there into the world. And that's what we're to allow. I love that kind of image of that's what we're to unleash out there into the world. That's what we're allowed to go out and be fruitful and multiply. Literally, quite literally be fruitful and multiply. But notice that the idea isn't that the trunk somehow controls the seeds or controls where they go, or how they get planted or whatever happens. The trunk is just there to support all those different things taking place. That's what we're here to do. And people with sort of a zest or an energy and enthusiasm around life really can do that. They can be sort of it can create an energy that allows us to live into our best selves and allows us to spread seed throughout the world. And boy, there's so much I could say on that, because for some reason those people, I don't know, this is going to sound really strange to say, for some reason those people are not results oriented. They're just gift oriented, and there's a difference there, and nothing wrong with being results oriented. Like, here at New Church Live, we have to be results oriented or we won't exist, because we have to pay the bills and all those kinds of things. And when a church is at its best or people are at their best, they're really just about this much bigger sharing, and then this hope and this trust that those other things that will the measurements that will support them will be there when they need it. So just consider that for a minute, folks. Like where can you bring a little bit of that kind of energy, a little bit of that kind of juju into your life and into other people's lives? And how can you see it within the context of a trunk of a tree, where it's there to support the growth of others, and it's there to help other people, and it's there to help them make a difference in their life? I mean, and it might beg the question, like, how do I create that energy? Well, I would maybe just venture this, maybe there's somebody in your life who could use a text message or an email today that you could just simply say, hey, you know what, I know you're working on this, or you're thinking about this, or you're considering that, or you're whatever, fill in the blank there. How can I support you in that? Just that open-ended question, because that's a trunk question. A pyramid question is, this is what you need to do, because it's top down. Again, pyramid is always a tomb. It will end up dying. But it's very different when you say, how can I support you in this endeavor? How can I support you in what you consider to be fruitful out there into the world? And that's where we find a deep aliveness, because that starts a flow, and it's a flow that goes through us. It's a flow that goes through other people. It flows that goes from the trunk to the branches, to the leaves, to the fruits, to the seeds. And that's where we want to be in our lives, dear friends, is always supporting those things that are being planted anew over and over again. So that's the thought for the morning. I hope that gives you a few things to consider today, and may you have a morning of deep aliveness. And what we're going to do now, friends, is we're going to do a little meditation, a little prayer, a little blessing, and we'll say hi to folks on social media. I also do want a little public service announcement. Is I will be traveling down to Vero Beach, Florida. I will be there Thursday, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. So if you are watching from Florida and you would like to join us, you are more than welcome to. We're having a special service in Vero Beach Sunday morning at 11 a.m. New Church Live will still do its regular thing here. We're very lucky to have Curtis Childs, an amazing person, offers incredible messages. If you haven't seen him, I highly urge you to tune in live to New Church Live Sunday at 10:30. And if you happen to be in the Florida area, feel free to join us. And what you can do, if that has interest to you, is you can just shoot me a note in the comment section. I will send you the specifics. We have so far, we have 31, 32 people who are joining us down there at our little gathering. We do these at different parts of the country. Charleston, we have one coming up to Charleston soon. And it's just a way to reach out to congregants who are located in different geographic areas of the country. So with that, dear friends, what we're going to do is I'm going to ring a little bell here. That'll be our prayer bell. It helps to clear mind. Then we're going to look at an ancient passage and do a little meditation around that. That'll be followed by a prayer, followed by the equally ancient Levitican blessing, followed by commentary. So with that, dear friends, let's get a little breath. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, let's give a little cheery hello here to folks. See how you are plugging along. Let me flip this to the right page here. All right, we actually had a little bit of snow today here in Philadelphia area, which was super fun being out, and always have lots and lots of, from years spent living in the Pocono Mountains, I absolutely love winter and I love snow. How's that? Jen, good morning to you, my friend, down there, down south. I'll be joining you south of the Mason-Dixon in a very short order here. Sherry writes, February is short, make every day count. Amen to that, Cherry. It's it's kind of a fun. I mean, I know for a lot of people, it's a bad month, but it's my birthday month, so that makes it kind of fun for me. Talia, great to have you joining us this morning as well. Marcus, good morning to you, buddy, and thank you for the very fruitful meeting yesterday. Paige, good morning to you. Gene writes, last night's dusting of snow makes me feel alive. Yeah, it really does. And there's a certain, Gene, there's a beautiful stillness, to snow that I find very, very, very appealing to me personally. All right, now let's flip accounts one more time and take a look if people have left any comments. We got a few comments there from a few comments from people online there. Kim, good morning and morning all. Totally agree with that. Chair, it's beautiful and love the positivity of growth and hope for thought-provoking tools. And Patricia offers her heart there. Great to see that, Patricia. So, folks, I'm wishing you all the very best. May God bless your journey today and tomorrow and for the weekend ahead. And again, we will have 10 minutes of morning calm on Thursday and Friday. It'll just be pre-recorded, but feel free to leave comments and I will get to those comments in short order, that's for sure. So take care, friends. Bye-bye. God bless.